I'm pretty sure you must have read this story somewhere. I'll just paraphrase it. Okay. There's this super rich guy with this super rich car. Okay. Let's say the car is a Rolls Royce or a, just use the imagination, a super rich, super luxurious car. So he's having some problem, and he goes to this mechanic guy, and he tells him, "Excuse me, you're the guy who they spoke about. Your name is so and so." He said, "Yeah." He's saying, "I'm having a problem with my car." He's saying, "What's the problem?" He's saying, "I'm trying to start it, but after starting, it just it stops automatically, you know." So I've been to many garages. I've been to many people. None of them know what is happening. Can you help me? So he looks at the car and, expensive car, okay. So he tells him, "Yeah, I'll do it, but it'll be $5,000. So this guy like, $5,000 to make my car, okay. So he's like, "Yeah, if you want, I can do it." So this guy had no choice. He said, "Okay, fine." And in his mind, he was thinking that, I'll have to keep this car for maybe a few days, weeks, months. Maybe we'll have to order spare parts, so many things. So he's visualizing a lot of things. So he said, "Okay, fine. Please go ahead, start." So he said, wait, you don't need to go anywhere. But you agree, huh? $5,000? He said, "Yeah." Opens the engine, looks at it. He just looks. And then puts his finger somewhere, And then he says, "Just start the car." Starts the car. Starts, stops. And he says, "Okay." And then he just puts his finger somewhere, something he tweaks, and says, "Start the car now." He starts, and lo, voila. The car not only starts, it's running. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So the guy comes out, "What the hell did you just do?" He's saying, that small wiring, something is there. It was slightly loose connection. Fixed it. Okay, sorted out. So he's like, "Oh, wow, that's great." So then he asked him, "Okay, so how much for, and he's a businessman, he's a rich guy. So how much for a few seconds of work?" And he made sure, few seconds of work. Yeah, $5,000. We agreed. So the guy is like, $5,000? You hardly spend a few seconds, man, into the sorting of this guy. Why the hell should I pay you $5,000? You mad? He's saying, "Boss, listen, you agreed, right? $5,000." He's saying, "Yeah, I agreed. But, I thought it's going to take days and months and weeks and, and spare parts." He's saying, "Yeah, it didn't need, it just took expertise to know this." So he's like, "But why should I pay you for a few seconds work?" He said, "That few seconds work, no? That you're talking a few seconds, took me 50 years to learn. 50 years. From the day I was born, I was into cars. I learned so much. I dedicated my entire life to it. And that is why I knew exactly where the problem is." I said, by listening to a car, by listening to it, by looking at it, by looking at how it moves, I can tell you what exactly the problem is." So in the same way, I know this might be a very exaggerated story. In the same way, for me, given that I've been into personal branding, resume rebrand, interview coaching, helping people get jobs, relationship coaching, or whatever coaching. I've been into this for nearly 20 years. I've developed the same kind of expertise. Now, I'm not trying to say that, I'm this mighty great guy. This is a very common trait for anybody who's into a certain discipline. It can be a musician, guitarist, drummer. It can be a chess player. It can be a guy who makes pottery. It can be someone who, let's say, who's an IT networking guy. It can be a painter, say a fighter, boxer. Like for example, if you try to go fight with a boxer, automatically they react, So it's like second nature to us. So now, why am I sharing this? When people come to me with their problems, obviously, they'll only come to me when they have a problem. They're not going to come to me when life is good. So when they lose their job, or they're not getting a job, or they're having a problem with their relationship or friendship or business or something, and they want a different point of view. They're fed up of the cliche nonsense stuff. They come to me. Sometimes they come to me to hear what they needed to hear, and sometimes they come to me for, I need to I need a different point of view. Okay. It might surprise you, but within a few seconds, I can actually tell you what is wrong. Few seconds. I'll give you a simple example. This Now that my life has come, slowly coming back to normal, I've been able to answer emails, queries, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, emails, all the queries. So I got this guy who asked me about my services. How much for your charges? How much for resume? How much for coaching? How much for Dubai market? This thing. And then he said, obviously, this is a common thing. You're very expensive. I said, I know. So he said, how successful are you? He's asking me, how successful? I said, what do you mean by that? He's saying, let's say I pay you money. How successful are you? I said, boss, I've been doing this for 20 years, so I guess I'm pretty successful. I'm successful at what I'm doing. No, you didn't understand. How successful would you be? See his question. How successful would you be in helping me get a job? So I said, you're mixing two things here. Okay, you're mixing two things. And I knew what he was getting at. I said, you are indirectly asking me to give you a guarantee. I am paying you a lot of money. What guarantee is there that I'll get a job? That is what you want to ask me, but you're putting it in a very diplomatic fashion. Why? Because you know that I have explicitly stated I don't do job placements. I don't offer guarantees. So you're indirectly asking me, how good am I that if I were to take your service, my life will get better. Okay. So he didn't know how to, I cornered him. So he said, yeah, please don't feel bad, but it's a lot of money. I'm not feeling bad. But I'll answer you. And this is the answer I gave him. I said, have you noticed that in a classroom, there are maybe 30 students. All of them study the same thing. All of them, some get first rank, some get second, some get nothing. All of them get the degree. Okay, degree, whatever, certificate. But why is it out of the 30, some go and become CEOs, some become average, some become nothing, and some are unemployed? Why is that? So he said, yeah, it depends on person to person. Exactly. I told him. There are some people who have taken my coaching and gone to heights which I myself cannot believe. And there are some people who have taken my coaching and been just about average. But then he said, then taking your service is a chance. My answer to that was, what you're currently doing is without guidance, without mentoring, without any direction. You are guaranteed to fail doing what you're doing. It's like you're trying to make a dish sweet by putting salt and chili. Okay? So no matter how hard you try, it's never going to be sweet. It's going to be salty and chili. So what I'm doing is I'm telling you, listen, stop putting this chili, stop putting this salt. There are other alternatives, sugar or jaggery or fruit or whatever. So I'll give you the right direction. Now what you do with the right direction, that's up to you. You can work with the intensity of an obsessed animal and try to be the world's best. You can work with the intensity to just be very good. You can just focus on being average, or you can be just namesake, do work and go home. So that's all up to you. Even job hunting, you can do it as if your life depended on it. You're ready to sell your mother, father, brother, sister, your soul just to get a job. Or you can do it in a way that is within the framework of the rules. Or you can do it being very smart. Or you can just do it, I'll apply 10 places and then I'll take a rest. So I can't predict that. What I can predict is what I'm going to give you will be the right guidance, the right strategy, the right way of doing things. Application is what you have to do. It's like, You go to a gym coach, you ask him what is the proper diet, proper exercise, proper instructions. He gives it to you. Do you follow it? That is up to you. So he finally understood. But then I just told him, can I give you something as a bonus before we finish? He said, yes. I said, this may not be to your liking, but I think you need to hear it. He said, yeah, please go ahead. I said, see, you're in your 30s, going to be 40s. You still don't believe in yourself. You still need external validation, external assurance, external like what is, how successful are you for me to be successful? Instead of being the person who looks into himself and says, I will succeed no matter what. You show me the way, I'll do what it takes. You're not taking charge of your life. You're not taking charge of yourself. You're not taking charge of... you are the type who, whatever the result is, that is your sense of worth. So if you fail many times, I'm a failure. But if you succeed, hey, I'm a great man. You need to believe in yourself, boss. I'm not saying overconfidence. I'm not saying be cocky like a 60-year-old, 100-kilo fat female who says, I'm going to be, Victoria's Secret model when she is living in Bangladesh. You need to be realistic. So, realistic is one thing. Being practical is also one thing. Overconfidence is totally another thing. But not having any confidence or belief is a total very big thing. So all I told him is, I'm not asking you to start thinking of becoming Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or billionaire or millionaire. I'm just telling you that you have potential. You have potential to achieve, let's say you're at a managerial level, you can move 20% higher. But provided you use the right strategy, you know how to market yourself, you develop yourself, and if you really focus in a few months, you will get what you want. May not be perfectly exactly what you want, but it'll nearly be there. So that's the only difference between taking my service, doing the right thing. It's like following the right recipe rather than doing the wrong thing, the wrong recipe, and expecting a different result. So the moral of the story which I want to give you here is, number one, apart from me marketing my services, which is very obvious and explicit, is the problem is you. Listen carefully what I'm saying. Even before coming to me, I tell clients this. The problem is you. Accept responsibility. You have done something wrong. Your strategy is wrong. Your execution is wrong. The way you have gone about is wrong. Your thinking is wrong. So first you need to change this, or at least have a mindset like, the Chinese proverb, no? Until the teacup is empty, you can't put hot new tea. So until you have a student mentality and say, I want to achieve different results, I'm prepared to change completely. And then with the student mind, when you go and you really decide, okay, I was here because that thinking was here. Now I want to move to the next level. So you have to empty your cup, you have to start all over again. Because what got you here will not get you here. Okay? So you are the problem. You need to sort yourself out. And when you accept that, that is where changes take place. And without believing in yourself, not overconfidence, not thinking you're God's gift to mankind. If you don't believe in yourself, boss, nothing is going to happen. Don't believe in a God and luck and this and that. Take charge of your life, only then you'll achieve success. And hopefully, maybe one day, you'll be like that. What is that? Rolls-Royce guy or that car mechanic. You fix a rate, expensive, but you know exactly what you're looking at. And people, I'll tell you, will come knocking at your door and they'll pay you for your expertise. That is what personal branding is all about. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. Love to hear from you. This is me signing off. Shalom.